So who is Avatar Szeto, the diplomatic Fire Nation Avatar? Szeto was the Fire Nation Avatar before Yangchen. Living in an era of immense crisis that threatened to destroy the Fire Nation, Szeto saved his home country by becoming a bureaucrat, diplomat, and an accountant in service of Fire Lord Yosor. Eventually rising to Grand Advisor, Szeto greatly strengthened the Fire Nation's government, restored economic balance, and set up programs to aid the poor and needy. Szeto was born into an era of great strife in the Fire Nation. Plagues and natural disasters destroyed the people's livelihoods, while violent conflicts between the nation's noble clans threatened to tear the nation apart. To save his homeland, Szeto opted for an extremely unusual approach. Instead of taking control himself or forcefully trying to enforce his decisions as was his right as Avatar, he became a junior minister in the Fire Nation's government. He rejected any privileges and began to work as a regular official, advancing in the ranks according to his achievements instead of any birthright. He accepted orders from Fire Lord Yosor and senior ministers and began to improve his country by using his bureaucracy. Proving himself to be a talented bureaucrat, diplomat, and accountant, Szeto reinforced the government's authority, as him working for the Fire Lord meant that all his achievements also positively reflected on the Fire Nation's central government. Eventually, he was appointed Grand Advisor to Fire Lord Yosor and brokered a lasting peace among the noble clans. Thereafter, Szeto concentrated on restoring the Fire Nation's economy, which had greatly suffered from unrest and mismanagement. As Grand Advisor, he ended the debasement of coins and set up the first official relief programs for farmers in times of famine. All the while, he kept meticulous records of his work. Among others, he wrote down a theory of grain distributions. At some point, Szeto visited the Northern Air Temple and took up residence in the Avatar's quarters. He left the room completely empty except for the bed and desk, and the walls were bare. To an outside observer, he would have looked like a man with nothing to hide. In truth, however, his life was difficult, and he was considered a library of intrigue in the realm of spycraft and trickery. At one point, Szeto codified the procedures of official meetings with the Avatar in order to lessen the amount of unnecessary pageantry, subtlety, and repetition which traditionally marked these meetings. Szeto eventually died and reincarnated as Yangchen in the Western Air Temple. After his death, though, he was included alongside other Fire Avatars in the Fire Nation Royal Palace's Royal Gallery. His painting depicted him in his trademark minister robes, holding an abacus and a large stamp. He became a revered figure in the Fire Nation, and a festival was set up in his honor. He was known to have coined the saying, "You have lost the melon, hang on to the sesame," no? This encouraged others to look to their long-term success after failure, though the idiom was rather obscure outside the Fire Nation. Szeto was also a very respected figure in the other nations, and his successor Yangchen struggled to live up to him. While negotiating an agreement between the Sao Wang clan and the Phoenix Eel Spirit, Yangchen was sure that it would have been respected if she had said it had been the will of Szeto, as such a decree would have been the authority of a mother, a father, a Sifu, the Fire Lord, all rolled into one. Not everyone outside of the Fire Nation saw Szeto in the same light, however, as Chief Oyoluk, who ruled during the late era of Szeto and the early era of Yangchen, accused him of being biased towards the Fire Nation, favoring it over the other three nations. But looking back at her previous life, Yangchen thought that Szeto had a rather messy life, but Yangchen in turn would eventually become a revered figure in her own right. Szeto was generally remembered as an extremely dutiful, humble, diplomatic, and honest man. However, this did not reflect the entire truth, with his public persona being to some degree carefully crafted by Szeto himself. Szeto is also a powerful lava bender, capable of controlling 4 volcanoes at once, besides the great bending powers associated with the Avatar in general. Szeto also possessed great administrative skills. In addition, he was regarded as a highly talented public speaker, a skill which helped him at becoming a flexible diplomat. But beyond these publicly displayed abilities, Szeto is also a master at espionage and deception. Overall, he was a really cool and unique Avatar, and I would definitely be interested in to see more about him. But if you like this type of content about Avatar, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out my other channels, which will be linked down below. All the information that I got from this will be linked down below as well, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.